Oh, y'all want another video?
Hey everybody, it's your boy Matty Rants. Housewives of Atlanta was pretty interesting last night, and we need to go ahead and get into it. Now go ahead and hit that like button and the subscribe button. Welcome new subscribers into the team. Matty Rants, hey, what's good, what's good? Let's get into this mug and jug. I don't know what I just said, but we're going with it. Now, this episode wasn't boring, but we got some insight on more things, particularly with Sheree, with the prison bay situation, the date night with Cynthia and Kandi. That was interesting. Porsha's blind date. That was good TV. That was really good TV. And other things as well. So we're going to go ahead and get into the episode. Now, I just realized that we did not see Nene one time this episode. She was in LA, which Cynthia brought up later on. But without Nene, we didn't get Marlo. And I'm all for Marlo. When there's a Marlo, there's a way. I missed those two this episode. But it was for the other girls, and I was still for it. So let's go ahead and start with Sheree. Now, can we all just be thankful that Sheree has a whole nother interview look besides that awful storm wig? Ooh, that awful wig, man. I can't. I'm like, Sheree, you are so much better than that wig. Who do you tell that to? You're so much better than that wig. Now, she was shopping for a special door or some kind of door to put down in her basement that is still being worked on. And, you know, brought up the fact that, you know, the girls came and tried to read her, you know, because her place wasn't finished. But, you know, hey, people have bills and they allocate them to certain things that they feel are more important. So who are we to judge? Porsha meets up with her. They look at doors. How interesting. Now, while that was going on, Cynthia invites over Kandi and Cynthia to her home. And I gotta say, her home is gorgeous. Like, Cynthia has style both for herself and in her home life. And then Cynthia talks about the funeral and how hard it was for her. And, you know, definitely understand. I recently went to a funeral just a few months ago. God, and it was definitely hard. And I understand what she's going. I understand what she's going through. All the love out there to you, Kenya, and blessings to your family. But yeah, we get back to Porsha and Sheree, and we bring up this tabloid situation where Sheree is now basically, hey, she has a prison boo, and the picture, y'all. Okay, let's be real. He was not bad looking, all right. But my whole thing. Why I was all of the chuckle was the wifey shirt, and it was the prison background, like, you know, where they take the pictures at. I don't know. Like, it was just a painting on the wall of some project done in-house. There's nothing wrong. Listen, love is love. I have no judgments for that. When you find someone, you find someone. Hey, I used to talk to someone who had a very long record. We don't talk no more. At the same time, it's just weird to see Sheree in this position, knowing Sheree from so many seasons ago. Hey, everyone changes, and that's definitely evident with Sheree. But yeah, I have no judgments for that. I just think it's weird, but I mean, if that's what she likes, the whole 1 year to 4 year bit, oh, I don't know about that, Sheree. She brought up later that he could be possibly getting out at the end of the year. If not the end of the year, it's going to be another 4 years, or is it 5? 4 or 5? Y'all know what it was. I couldn't do it. Not 4 to 5, buddy. Nope. I found it interesting that they were talking about Cynthia and feeling bad for her not knowing about the Mark and Kenya situation for her being the best friend bit. And I'm like, girl, why are y'all talking about that? You know, you're just as pressed as her not knowing what's up. Let's be real about it. But again, we talked about this last time. If you were a friend and your best friend got married, didn't tell you about it, and it's now been months later or weeks later, and y'all hang out all the time, and you still haven't met this man or woman, it's like, how would you feel? So I get it, and Cynthia does address that with Kenya, and Kenya's like, girl, they need to worry about themselves, but you will meet him in due time, and da-da-da-da-da. He's in New York. You know, I'm out here in Atlanta. I go see him. You know, it's hard. And that's when Cynthia brings up, and I thought was really funny. Cynthia goes, well, bitch, I was just in New York last week. I could have met with him for lunch. What's up with that? Side note, so the whole, you better call Tyrone. That whole little Erykah Badu shade that Kenya and Cynthia were given for Sheree with Tyrone in jail. But Kandi talk about, but Kandi said, well, doesn't he have to call her? Oh, Kandi, you and these slick little killers. Now we're over to Porsha's palace, and we have these matchmakers come over to help Porsha find someone. Because Porsha wants love too, and who doesn't want love, right? Well, she then brings up that, you know, if Sheree has a prison bae and Cynthia just got out of a marriage and 6 months later she's already with Will, she's definitely needing, like, come on, help a sister out. Okay, I feel you, Porsha, I got you. Now, when they started going through her house, though, come on, really? Okay, she got a house and a big one, so I am not going to hate. My little town home, hey, we do nicely here. But, Miss Thing, I got to say, when they came into the room, and this is the boys' room, I'm just being prepared, and then they went to the girls' room, and it's really just storage closet space. Honestly, it's just storage stuff, right? I didn't take it that seriously, but for them, they're like, oh, this is kind of tragic. Then they saw the swing set outside, and that was like the nail. That was the last one in the coffin, y'all. That was funny. They said, you need to change that up. You're going to run somebody off coming over here. But speaking of people that Porsha was dating after the whole Cordell mess, all that mess, when they went from, what was it, Duke, Oliver to, I can't remember the other guy's name from the last season that was just kind of, you know, I quit my job for you, girl, all that type of stuff. Was that the last season before? No, it's one of them. Anywho, Oliver was the best, in my opinion. Maybe based on looks-wise, but as far as like the whole like suave type of thing, I think that was for Porsha, where I was like, yeah, I could see that for her. But the other two, I was like, I don't know. Last one was nice, but Oliver was it. That was Vacation, babe. But yeah, that was cute for Porsha. Okay, something else besides, oh, I got ahead of myself. Porsha, I'm not letting that, because I'm vegan, I'm so horny now, I need some cucumbers and eggplants in my life. Porsha's silly. But this is also a good side to see of Porsha, because again, most of the focal point of Porsha this season has been the drama based with Shamia and Nene, and still with Kenya and everybody else with Kenny and da-da-da-da-da-da, like, you know, all that. So it's nice to see that from her, because honestly, I didn't really care to have a 5-minute segment about her being a vegan. No shade, Porsha. I'm just saying, like, I mean, everybody's a vegan now. Like, there's super vegans. Get there. I'll be interested in super vegan. But, okay, let's get her on some dates. Porsha's bad, okay? That body is A1 steak sauce. Get her on somebody's team. But we'll get to that date in a second. That shit was hilarious. Shift over to Cynthia, looking bad as she wants to be, meeting up with Peter. Oh, my God. Uncle Peter's back, y'all. Listen, now, Cynthia's still feeling Papa Peter just a little bit now. We upgraded him from Uncle to Papa. But the discussion between them was weird. It was like flirtatious and this type of like, well, I am dating somebody now. Oh, okay, what's his name? You know, well, actually, no. He didn't ask what his name was. She volunteered that information. Sometimes I'm like, Cynthia, I feel like you shouldn't say everything. Everything. You don't have to say everything. But when Peter said, tell him I said hello, I was like, girl, this is a lot. I don't know how to take that. So now moving over to Kandi's scene, which was so adorable. Oh my goodness. Okay. Look at me. Oh my goodness. It was. Little Ace is so adorable. The swimming lessons were great. I remember when I got swimming lessons too. Actually, my dad just threw us in the water and was like, go for it. No, we had some swimming lessons. But it was really nice to see that family side. You know, we haven't had that in a long time with the show, because the last time we had someone on who had, like, say, you know, an infant or a toddler would be Phaedra. And that was Mr. President and Mr. Mayor or Mr., you know, Corporal Instructor, General Manager. I can't remember. No shade to Phaedra. I actually am a fan of Phaedra's, but, well, outside of that drama. But it was nice to see that. Then we shift over to Kandi and Riley, who, y'all, just remember Riley when she was little to now. Go on, Riley. Growing up perfectly fine, sis. And you're looking good in a light beat, too. I was like, y'all, she doesn't have too much makeup on. It's appropriate. I live. Like, because, you know, some girls, and some men, too, why is it all of that? Why is it 10 lead counters of paint on your face? I don't understand it. You look great already. Just, you know, help the features that you already have and just make it wow. But Riley looked great, and I also enjoyed the conversation she had with Kandi. Now, if you get that girl that G-Wagon Kandi, you're mama of everybody's year, okay? Or everybody's mama for the year. Whatever, we'll work with it. Oh, I need coffee. So Sheree finally has a sit down with her kids, and she, you know, goes over the whole abuse situation that she had, the domestic violence with Bob. The kids' responses, it was very hard to watch for me. I don't know, that's such a personal subject that I commend Sheree for having the bravery to come out and, you know, be public with this and tell the story. You know, it would have been in tabloids anyways and blah, blah, blah. But just to be, you know, okay, this is really what went down. Went and sought counseling for it, and then spoke to her children openly about it on television. I mean, that is some strength right there, because that's a lot to deal with. And they have to go out in the world and say, yes, that was televised. This is our life. This is what happened. Hey, I'm all for it. Child, they put me on TV. Get ready for some fuckery. Because my family, we're all crazy. And also, before I let this go, because I need to give Sheree some more credit here, that wig on your head, all that billowy hair, I was like, yeah, I like that. That's a good look for Sheree. Versus the bobs and all that other stuff. All those bundles in there, oh yeah, I'm for it. I don't know if it was a wig or if that was just a whole bunch in there, but it looked good, sis. It looked good. Get to the bro bride. And this was like Kandi grilling nights, okay? Because Kandi was grilling the garbage paste out that man. Where there's a Will, there's a Kandi grilling the hell out of him. And I'm all for it in a sense, but Cynthia being uncomfortable, like, damn, Kandi, let up. Let up. We're on a date. He invited us. Come on now. I mean, the man sent her a car, y'all. And that is such a wonderful thing. Imagine Cynthia having to drive 45 minutes out to go meet up with the man to go on this date. That would have been great, but he sent her a car. That's special. That also means, for me, that would be like, are you sending me a car home, or am I rolling back with you? Where there's a Will, there's a Cynthia. I'll stop with where there's a Will. I will stop. I promise. Kandi brings up the fact that he was on the Steve Harvey show for dating, as well as working on a pilot also for dating. Cue the music. Boom, boom, boom. It's like, oh, girl, here we go. So he was like, well, I never did the pilot. I was asked to do it, but I never did it. And then, you know, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not, what did he say? It was not opportunistic. He did not say that word. He put another nene. It was like opportunistic. I was like, what the hell? I was like, no, it's an opportunist. But okay, Will, you're nervous. They started calling you out on some shit. You had to pull it back together. But that was so funny. I heard him say that, and I said, that is not the word he was trying to use. He was very nervous. But Kandi, hey, Kandi is that friend I see. I'm looking out for my girls, especially with Cynthia having, you know, been in the spotlight for a long time, just like Kandi. People will use and abuse you. And they even do that to people now who don't even have a lot and are not celebrities. Kandi, I'm with you, but you were kind of grilling the sizzle. I was like, all right, back up. We got it. We got it. That conversation that Cynthia and Kandi had too, about the sex, and you know, I don't want it to be bad or anything else like that. And Candy's like, well, girl, you had to have somebody hit it recently. She's like, yeah, just not him. Oh! I was like, all right, Cynthia. Started saying, I don't want it too short. I didn't want a big pun and all that. I said, come on, Cynthia. But then she came back to the boys when they were talking and told him, oh, we were talking about I didn't want the sex to be bad, and Candy's face cracked so hard I was with her like, girl, you didn't have to say all that. Now I was waiting for us to get to Porsha's date. He wasn't horrible looking by any means necessary. He looked awkward, but he wasn't horrible looking. But when she came in and saw him and did that 180, I said, oh, Porsha, why? That was funny. I thought she was really going to leave the date. Did y'all think she was going to leave it? I said, did she do a 180 and make a beeline for the door? No, she walked back to the hostess and said, she walked back to the hostess and was like, I just needed to catch myself. I needed to gather myself. Porsha, like, what producer stepped in and said, you got to go through with this date? I feel like it. If it was on your own, all right. Even if it was someone pushing you, that shit was funny. But Porsha looked really good for her date. The chest was out, okay? Breast was popping. The dress was fitting. Hair was right. I was like, Porsha looks really good. And then she meets, and the conversation was weird. I don't know if it was because of how, I don't know if Porsha was just, you know, responding with the giggle and da-da-da-da-da, so it seemed like it was just a, you know, I hear what you're saying, but I don't really have anything to add to the conversation. But they were talking for a bit, but then he would say weird stuff, and it would be kind of digs, and I felt like he was digging at her a little bit, and I wasn't feeling that. And Porsha took it gracefully, like, oh, okay. What I'm referring to is the whole, you know, women as beautiful as you sometimes have egos or something. It was something like that, an ego bit with women. And she was like, oh no, I don't think I look good at all. And then she had that, you know, I look like you. I have no hair on my head. I was like, Porsha, because you kind of clocked him at the same time with making it, you know, oh, I'm just being light. But you clocked him. It was funny. Then when they did the whole sake bomb thing and he was like, she was like, ooh, I need that alcohol. And he was like, yeah, maybe it'll loosen you up a bit. Date over. Date was over. Good night. Thank you. I had a great time. He was a little weird, but again, he could have been nervous. Porsha ducking out like that because I know he had to have seen her. There is no way. What did y'all think of that date? That was foolish. Can Karen and Jane help her next time with somebody else, please? Can they give somebody else? Like, really think about it. I felt like they set her up with Mr. Potato Head, in my opinion. And Porsha's worth more than Mr. Potato fucking Head. I'm sorry. So, we're coming to a close on the episode here, kids. This Sheree moment was weird, man. This Sheree moment was weird. So, Jack Daniels comes over. He's so nice. Like, that's all I can think of when I think of Jack Daniels. The name alone is, like, funny. But he is so nice. And he comes over to have a full, I'm checking in on you. I want to make sure you're okay. Let's talk about stuff. You know, let's go over what we do as I'm being a counselor to you, Sheree. I'm here to check on you. Miss Thing takes a phone call from Prison Bay. Tyrone, no. And I was a little like, that's kind of disrespectful. This man came over here on his time. I don't know if this is a friend thing where he came over here just to say, hey, what's up? I don't know, but this could have been on the clock. Well, actually, if he was on the clock and she was taking that phone call, he was still getting paid. So really, I don't even care about this. I don't care about this anymore. I just talked myself out of hating that situation. I love it. And I did it on camera for you. But back to the bullshit. So Sheree gets on the phone and I sat there and went, okay. The way he was talking to her, listen, I know a lot of ladies, I know some of y'all's panties was dropping because I was like, oh, okay, he's a smooth talker. Sheree's like, Sheree seems so happy, so I didn't want to hate on the situation. It was weird. I just didn't want to be like, oh, fuck you, Sheree. No, it just was weird. Come on now, that man's had a 5-minute phone call. The call is about to disconnect. Woo, child. Gets back into the house. Jack Daniels, what's going on? You seem to have this glow, but you seem so happy. Well, I guess I should say, I have a boyfriend. That's what it is, a boyfriend. Yeah. I'm so happy to hear that. And he's incarcerated. Who's incarcerated? Now, Jack. Now, Jack, you shady shenanigans, you. Y'all were still talking about the same person who was her boyfriend for you to do who's in jail. I was spooked, cackled, and popped. Rice Krispies, bitch. His face left the house. It was no longer in Chateau Sheree. It skipped on over to Moore Manor and possibly grabbed a plate at Porsha Palace, like, for real. He was like, really, Sheree? Is that what you want? Is this where you want to go? Do you see this being something for you? Sheree was down. Sheree is down. Sheree is down for it, y'all. And I respected Sheree. But when he brought up 4 years, though, and we just don't want to see her get conned. We don't want to see Sheree getting messed over. The house ends up turning into like a pebble some kind of way. And we get a tabloid about it in a whole another season of this man did me some kind of way. We don't want that. I don't think anybody else wants that for her. So I think we as viewers are also, okay, Sheree, we're watching too. Because you deserve it. Everybody deserves some good love here. So we've come to the end of this episode. Everybody, what did you think of last night? I mean, we didn't have that much drama, but we certainly had a lot of conversations that we needed to have. Now, next week, Porsha and Nene are going to finally have that, this is why I hate you. No, this is why I hate you and why we can't be friends. And I wish you were my whatever. We'll see how that goes. But hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget the like and subscribe button, as well as get in the comment section and tell me what you thought about last night's episode and what we think the season is going to hold for us. Because remember, Eva is still nowhere to be found, and that is supposed to be the next castmate on this show, and I want to see where that goes. All right, everybody, have yourselves a great Monday, and I will see you Wednesday for Dragula, part 2 of that episode that ended so abruptly.